The small voice sliced through the buzz of the crowded community center, halting Caitlin Clark mid-sentence. She turned to see a 7-year-old girl with braided hair and worn sneakers, her wide eyes carrying a weight far beyond her years. How do you respond when a child speaks a truth most adults spend a lifetime trying to hide? When 3 simple words, spoken with innocent honesty, force you to reconsider everything you thought you knew about purpose, privilege, and responsibility. This isn't just a story about hunger or charity, or even celebrity activism. It's about the moment when a child's vulnerability collides with a champion's heart and sets off a ripple that can transform an entire community. What no one could have predicted was that this 7-year-old girl's quiet confession would uncover a hidden crisis impacting thousands of children, and that Caitlin's response would become one of the most powerful examples of using influence for something bigger than yourself. The fluorescent lights hummed above the renovated gym in the Des Moines Community Center. Caitlin had just wrapped up a basketball clinic, her foundation's outreach program meant to inspire kids with lessons about hard work, teamwork, and education. About 50 children sat cross-legged on the polished floor, their eager faces glowing with excitement. She smiled as she fielded questions. What's your favorite move? What was it like playing in college? Each answer drew laughs and cheers. But then, from the back of the group, a hand rose hesitantly. It belonged to Zara Johnson, a 7-year-old brought by her grandmother. Her beads clicked softly as she shifted nervously in her oversized t-shirt. Yes, sweetheart, Caitlin said, kneeling down to meet her gaze. What's your question? Zara's voice was barely a whisper, but in the quiet gym, every word landed like a thunderclap. Miss Caitlin, I'm hungry. The room froze. Some children looked confused. Others nodded in silent recognition. The adults, volunteers, and staff exchanged weary glances. Caitlin's heart clenched. This wasn't about basketball or dreams for the future. This was survival. You're hungry right now? Caitlin asked gently. Zara nodded, eyes brimming. We didn't have breakfast today. Yesterday we only had crackers for dinner. Grandma said we had to wait for her check. The silence that followed was heavy, suffocating. Dozens of eyes turned to Caitlin. How would she respond? She took a breath, steadied her voice, and stood tall. Thank you, Zara, for being brave enough to say that. You did the right thing. She looked out at the group. How many of you are hungry right now? Slowly, hands began to rise. First a few, then more. Nearly a dozen children admitted what no child should have to. Caitlin felt the weight of it crash into her chest. These weren't statistics. These were kids sitting in front of her, hungry in one of the richest countries in the world. Without hesitation, she pulled out her phone. All right, she said firmly. Here's what we're going to do. I'm calling every restaurant within 5 miles. Tonight, every one of you eats. Minutes later, delivery drivers streamed in with bags of food, paid for on Caitlin's own credit card. The children's faces lit up as warm meals were set before them. And yet, as Caitlin watched Zara take her first bite of a cheeseburger, she realized this wasn't about one meal. This was about something far bigger. Over the next few weeks, Caitlin launched herself into action. She learned that 1 in 6 Iowa children faced food insecurity. Many depended on school meals. Weekends were the hardest. So she created the No Child Hungry program, a bold initiative that built permanent food pantries in community centers, sent weekend meal packs home with students, and partnered with local restaurants for emergency meal vouchers. Most importantly, she introduced Zara's challenge. For every point she scored, meals would be donated. Fans and businesses joined in, pledging their own support. In just 6 months, the program raised $300,000 and provided over 100,000 meals. Other athletes followed her lead. A movement was born. A year later, Caitlin returned to the same gym for the program's anniversary. Zara, now 8, stood confidently before the crowd. Miss Caitlin, she said into the microphone, thank you for listening when I was hungry. I'm not hungry anymore, and neither are my friends, because you showed us it's okay to ask for help. Applause thundered through the room. Caitlin blinked back tears. You know what Zara taught me? She told the crowd. She reminded me that my platform isn't just about basketball. It's about making sure no child feels they have to stay silent about their needs. Later, Caitlin and Zara sat on the gym floor, sharing cake and talking about the future. This time without hunger casting its shadow. And in that moment, Caitlin understood a truth that would guide her forever. Greatness isn't measured by points scored, but by lives changed. because sometimes the bravest thing a child can say is I'm hungry. And sometimes the most powerful thing an adult can do is listen.